Well, activity is finally starting to pick up in the Atlantic. August and September is the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. We take a look. So National Hurricane Center watching a few different areas right now. This map has been very quiet for weeks. But we have an area off the coast of the Carolinas. We've got Tropical Storm Dexter, and then another area we're watching further into the development zone. But there's Tropical Storm Dexter, mass of clouds off of the Carolinas that we're watching for potential development into a tropical system here. And then it doesn't look like much, but we've got a couple of tropical waves here. This is where those hurricanes develop off the west coast of Africa, and waters are warm through the whole Gulf. The Atlantic Basin temperatures are above normal, though not as hot as the last 2 years. But whenever the Atlantic is above normal, that's enough energy to create a whole slew of activity. But if you look, the blue line is this year. This is for the Atlantic Basin overall. The red and orange are the last 2 years. So we're not as hot as the last 2 years for those waters, but still above normal. That's the dark line. Similar scenario playing out as we look in the main development area here in the Atlantic, that southern part of the Atlantic west of Africa. And then when we look at the Gulf, those temperatures also similar. Not as hot as the last 2 years, but definitely above the normal, that dark line. So plenty of energy here in the Atlantic and the Gulf here to produce storms. Just need the meteorological conditions to come together. So we do have Tropical Storm Dexter, not really expected to affect many. Winds are about 45 miles an hour. It's going to continue on this northeasterly track away from the United States. But two other areas we're watching that could affect areas in the Caribbean or the Gulf, or maybe even the southeastern U.S. That mass of clouds off South Carolina, 30% chance of cyclone formation here in the next 7 days. This looks as though it could help produce some heavy rainfall in the southeast. So maybe not getting a hurricane yet in the southeast, but a lot of moisture potentially from that system kind of stalling things there as it develops. But you can see Dexter moving on, and then that kind of mass of clouds not really organizing itself too much. But we could be looking at several inches of rain here. Florida, Georgia, South and North Carolina, partly as a result of that system offshore here. And then another area that we're watching, likelihood of developing into a tropical system here over the next 7 days. Where it goes, that's the question mark. That's where they make this big orange blob. There's a lot of possibilities still. But as we look further out into the medium range here next week, into the week after. This is looking at August 17th. The European model creating a system here that could affect the Caribbean and with some pretty strong winds when we look at the August 14th to 18th period. So activity is picking up. We definitely got to keep our eyes here on the Atlantic and the Gulf here in the weeks ahead, as it is peak season and there's plenty of juice out there for these storms.